For those of you who haven't been paying attention to the Hasan stuff, it's gotten wild again. It's gotten pretty damn wild right now. And we need to talk about this because this was going on last week where Hasan doxing / sharing the personal information of other political content creators, including their full names, city, states, and zip codes. Now, this is all spilling out from what was going on between the, well, leftist civil war, the discourse, and everything around the dark money scandal that's been happening all over the place. And I've said this on many streams, I've said this everywhere. The dark money and the lefty sides, yeah, I'm believing it, okay? You're not going to convince me otherwise. You are all kind of toxic, and you do need to prop each other up utilizing money in order to actually spread your guys' ideology around because, well, it's not really that palatable. You can't really do it on your own. But that doesn't give justification for what Hasan did here, and I'm going to turn off BGM, and we're going to play this real quick. Now, it doesn't show off any of the actual important details, but this is what Hasan did last week to the Progressive Victory Pack people.
Yeah. Dylan Burns, Hunter Avalon, Hutch, Destiny's Own Personal Chef. Like, this is what happened. This is what took place. Okay? In the pack.
And you can see some of these things, distribution date. You can see right here, recipient name, recipient city, state, and zip code. Beneficiary community name.
Actually,
you can see all this.
Unironically, raise a bunch of money off of like people who thought that they were giving money to a political action committee that was going to go around and you know do door knocking campus operations, which they did. Yeah,
and to be fair, like they did do the door knocking things and they did all that, but at the same time, there are creators that like. This was an actual scandal that nobody did talk about, where there were a lot of creators taking money from Progressive Victory and they weren't disclosing it to people. That was an actual thing that happened, but it kind of went under the radar, and that's why Hasan's going after that. Now, that's not justification to go out there and dox anybody, which is deranged, and we can come over here, we can see that since the doxing's gone on and people have called him out for it, this has been what Hasan's response is. Hasan responds again to his doxing controversy. Well, let's see what he's had to say, shall we?
Appreciate just uses an opportunity to try to once again implement this like fake deplatforming, stupid deplatforming initiative, claiming that I was actually doxing people.
Well, you were, but we'll keep this going on.
Looking at FEC filings, myself included, for because I have looked at my own FEC filings as well on this broadcast, which is publicly available data.
Doesn't matter if it's publicly available, but we'll get into that. Don't you worry, guys. We'll get into why it doesn't matter.
That actually doesn't show the full identity or the full fucking addresses of people is not doxing. It's never been doxing.
Yes,
a big part of this broadcast is revolves around going on Open Secrets, which is the website that Bad Empanada was using.
Doesn't matter if it's on Open Secrets or if it's publicly available. It was doxing. And I'm sorry for interrupting him, but it is doxing. And again, we'll get into why it is specifically doxing, utilizing both California law, where Hasan is actually stating, and the TOS of actual Twitch right now.
Okay. Ironically enough, these guys aren't even mad at Bad Empanada for making the video, but more so mad at me, which for not only responding to the video, but also adding additional information about this organization that I knew about. Now, of course, that probably allows you to understand that this is not really a sincere fear that people have about doxing or whatever, but
well, okay, let's stop it right there because we can kind of get where he's going. He's saying, like, this is nothing important. This is stupid deplatforming. Nobody has a sincere fear about it. Just to remind people, this is one of the last times what happened when Hasan did a doxing on his own stream, by the way. This is an actual thing that he did.
In our sincerity and actually delivering for the very
oh, look.
Left behind by our politics.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that happened last time he did a dox on a stream, and we have other things that we'll get into, but specifically to the doxing claim, I have a wonderful, wonderful legal mindset fast facts here just to, you know, tackle this at a little bit better rate and to fully explain to you guys as to why this is deemed doxing, not just by Twitch's TOS, but also by California Penal Code, which Hasan actually falls under. And again, shout out to our good buddy Andrew Esquire. I love his fast facts. We like to use these because, well, he's a lawyer and he does a little bit more digging than a layman like me could. I did watch his full stream on this actual incident, and it is actually very interesting, but he does have this wonderful fast facts that we can quickly get into. Everybody go shout out to Andrew Esquire. Go to Legal Mindset's YouTube channel. Give him a like, sub, and all that stuff, and participate in everything good that goes on over there.
Hasan Piker is in hot water yet again as he goes on a harassment spree. We're going to talk about today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm, of course, Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a Fast Facts video, which brings you the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. If you like the Fast Facts, make sure to like the video and leave a comment below. So Hasan,
all right, told you guys to go do that, so please go do that.
Once again, is not learning from the past, is not learning from people telling him what to do because Twitch is not punishing him for previous bad behavior. And once again, we have Hasan engaging in activities which may very well violate California law and certainly violate Twitch's terms of service. So let's get into the videos, which I posted on my account on X, where he goes through the prohibited behavior. So we'll play that right here.
And we already saw this part, but we'll also get him, showing it off again and trying to get a little bit more detailed on what actually went on there.
And let you guys take a watch.
Yeah. Dylan Burns, Hunter Avalon, Hutch, Destiny's Own Personal Chef. Like this is what happened. This is what took place. Okay. And the pack actually did unironically raise a bunch of money off of like people who thought that they were giving money to a political action committee that was going to go around and do door knocking campus operations, which they.
So you see there, and that's the end of the clip, where he is exposing these people, Dylan Burns, Hunter Avalon, etc., all their names, their city, their state, their zip code, right? He's putting out all their personal information here on the internet. And the problem with that is when you have 30,000, 20,000, 40,000 people watching live, and then the replays get a bunch, they get replayed everywhere, people react to them. So we're looking at potentially millions of eyeballs on this information. You're putting those people in a position where anybody who doesn't like them, right, in this civil war that's going on what might be called the online left, not that the political affiliations matter because they're completely irrelevant. Whether this happens on the left or right, it is still potentially illegal because these people's information is now out there. They're putting it out in a way where any enemy, any person who hates them, whatever, that sees that is incentivized to go out there and take some sort of action.
Especially when it comes to somebody like Hunter Avalon. And I don't know if Legal Mindset will actually tackle this one. I think he did on his stream. I know that for sure. But Hunter Avalon actually did get assaulted. Remember, when it came to Hunter Avalon, just last year, he had his girlfriend's crazy ex decided to come to his house and, well, with a boom boom stick, did open fire on his house. Hunter Avalon has all justifications to be worried for a potential dox like this because bad things have already happened when his information did get out there. So I don't blame anybody for being worried. Now you double up on that with the actual viewer count that Hasan has and some past actions from Hasan orbiters and Hasan people. Yeah, it makes sense for them to be extremely worried when Hasan's fully out there just doxing their information, relevant information as well, and makes it really easy for people to go out there and find even more information on them.
Especially knowing that things like this have happened in the past. For example, with Hunter Avalon, who's on that list, has had an incident in the past where he was almost killed with the, crazy ex who came and shot his girlfriend, that whole situation. So you've got, a history here where this can happen when information is put out there and you're putting these people at risk. This is something that a reasonable person whose information is put that on the internet in front of hundreds of thousands of people, potentially millions, is going to be afraid of. And that's what people who have seen this and reacted to this are saying. For example, here is Hutch, who is talking about this scenario and how, and how it's violative of at least the Twitch TOS.
Not only was he doing these baseless accusations, he doxed us. He doxed us. He doxed us. It's like prominently featured on his screen. Like, hello? Hello? Are we like, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, like, I reported the VOD. The VOD is still up, like you can find the VOD on his channel. I reported the VOD. I sent an email to like Twitch support. I added them. Like if there's no consequence for this, like, I don't know what there's just no rules. Like, I don't understand. It's a blatant violation of Twitch's doxing policy. Like,
let's be fair. There are no rules when it comes to Hasan. I have other examples of Hasan just getting away with blatantly bad behavior over on Twitch. I already showed you when he doxed this person and then just started brandishing a firearm on Twitch in a threatening manner, which is again against Twitch's TOS. We also have this moment from Hasan in which he openly said that, hey, some bad things could be happening to Rick Scott, Senator of California. You guys remember this one?
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid, just in fraud alone. No.
That fraud is not coming from individuals, it's coming from providers. They're not tackling providers. They're not actually going after like false billing. They are trying to cut recipients, okay? It is not happening at the point of recipients. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
This was an actual thing that he said openly on his stream. We also have the most recent thing in which he was talking about Gila Klein.
And every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcasters like Wife that participate in these raids. The violence that the Palestinians engage in an act of resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal.
We have seen him do crazy open violations of Twitch's TOS on multiple occasions and get nothing but maybe a day suspension on a day in which he does not stream. Be it that a Sunday or whatever, he gets a day slap on the wrist. And now we have full-on doxes of very prominent content creators on Twitch, Kick, whatever you want to say, in which he's not going to get any punishment. The VOD's still up. He's acting like this is not a big deal, and that's one of the biggest problems here, is that Hasan openly doesn't get punished for anything that's going on there, despite the fact that it's against both the law in California and against Twitch's own TOS. He keeps doing this, doubling down and getting more and more radical because he doesn't give a darn, because everybody's protecting him. He is protected on that website, so he's gonna keep getting more and more awful. I always felt he has something on the CEO of Twitch, says Acid Storm. No, the reality is the CEO of Twitch loves him. Everybody at Twitch loves him. Reminder, guys, Twitch sang happy birthday to Hasan. Remember that. That was an actual clip that was going around. I don't have it pulled up right now, but Twitch loves Hasan and has defended him. He is above any and all the rules, and they don't give a damn.
If you go to their policy,
which we'll go to later as well,
this is what it says about doxing. Doxing of any kind is prohibited by Twitch's community guidelines, even if the perpetrators only expose information available via the public record.
And that's the key there. So even under Twitch's policy, even if that information is in the public record, even if it's something that's out there, that's something that's against our policy. So even if you could find that somewhere online, right? Even if that's posted somewhere online, that's not good enough. And by the way, for California law, that's also not good enough. Once again, not every state has these laws, but some states do, which is why it can indeed constitute cyber harassment, right? We're going to talk about the two California laws that this clearly would fall within the scope of.
And I'm sorry again to cut him off, but remember what Hasan was saying. This was all publicly available information. This was all publicly available. You can go on FEC filings and find it. Means it's not doxing, it's doxing. It's doxing by Twitch's own TOS, and then, as he's already leading up to, it's doxing by California's own legal laws. By their own standards, this is all considered doxing, so you did do a dox, and you do need to get called out for it.
If law enforcement decide to actually look at this and take this seriously.
And they
the
won't.
first one is electronic harassment. That's under 153.2 of the California Penal Code, and that one reads, every person with intent to place another person in reasonable fear for his safety or the safety of their family by means of electronic communication and without consent. Of course, these people didn't consent. And for the purpose of imminently causing the other person unwanted contact, injury, harassment by a third party, and they electronically distribute, publish emails, link, hyperlinks, or make available personal identifying information, including but not limited to a digital image or electronic message of a harassing nature, which would be likely to incite or produce an unlawful action, is guilty of a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail or by a fine of not more than $1,000 or by both fine and imprisonment.
And I mean to pause him there because I didn't originally have this actually pulled up. But when he said, for purposes of section electronic communication, including but not limited to telephone, wherever he said that, like the idea of, hey, we're going to be doing this to harass you, cause you unwanted safety, cause you issues like that, things of that nature that he was mentioning and everything like that. I'm going to bring you over to something that happened just recently here on Hutch's thing when it came to from Mike from PA. Now, this happened today, just a few hours ago even, 6 hours ago, where he says, here we have Mike from PA encouraging his audience to file an FEC complaint against me for not disclosing something I still have a functioning Nightbot command for, and dog whistling about maybe leaking my phone number. This is Mike from PA openly calling to get more information out there on Hutch. Like, he could play these weasel words like, I'm not saying this, but this is what Mike from PA was going out there saying right now.
Now, I'm not saying that somebody should leak his home address. I'm not saying somebody should leak his phone number. I'm not saying that Hutch should have his credit card number published.
Then why are you saying this at all? Like, you can tell that these are obviously weasel words right now. These are obviously like, well, he's out there saying he's not saying to do this. Bro, we're not dumb. You're the dumb one here, but we're not dumb. You calling to do this is actually you saying that these actions need to be taken. And this all falls in line with what Hasan did. The doxing that Hasan went out and did on Hutch and other people. This is all connected to this. So when it goes back to what Legal Mindset was saying here via California law, yes, this is all connected right now. And this all goes again to actions that do need to be taken against Hasan, and Hasan does need to be punished for doing this because it's just going to escalate from here.
So you see that here. So what do we have with electronic harassment? It doesn't in the statute anywhere say that the information has to be quote unquote private or secret or confidential. No, even public information that contains that identifiable information, the name, the address, the state, the city, all that stuff where someone could come and find them and harass them and would incentivize people. And we know there are unhinged people. We see it every day, particularly in
Mike from PA actually saying we need this stuff. You can go into Hasan's own groups and you can see just how unhinged those people get.
the United States, guys. We see it all the time where people are just going to people's houses, attacking them, doing crazy things, unhinged things, illegal things. And it's very likely to incentivize that unlawful action. And the only criteria here is whether it seriously alarms, annoys, torments, or terrorizes a reasonable person. And let's be honest, if any of you out there at home had your address and home showed on a stream with 50,000, 100,000 people that were, maybe 500,000 that are going to watch that video, yeah, I'm sure you would be at least annoyed, right? Seriously annoyed. So it would meet that standard. The other thing is there's no legitimate purpose to his doxing. Look, this is not to have some sort of fundraiser. This is not, a business saying, hey, go buy from them or whatever else. This is somebody's personal address at home, right? So there's no good reason why you need to be giving out that information. And, look, the penalty is not crazy. It's 1 year in jail. It's not a life sentence. It's not the death penalty, right? But there is a consequence for this action, and this could stack with multiple people. Yes, that could stack up. The other,
we can also say, like, hey, maybe the weasel words is, well, we don't have their exact address. We don't have maybe their apartment number. Maybe we don't have, their home address or anything. We only have their state, their zip code, and what city they live in. That's enough to quantify a doxier, and that's enough information for somebody to start boiling down and getting closer and closer to where their actual home addresses are. And on the internet, oftentimes your business address is also your home address. Why go out there and get a full studio when you can do all that stuff from your home? That's cost-cutting measures that a lot of people partake in, and that also goes into you're doxing these people, you're punishing these people for just disagreeing with you, and you do want to torment them, you do want to harass them, you do want bad things to happen to these people, and it's already against the TOS and the law, so you do deserve some form of punishment, but we know it's not going to happen.
the other statute is number 646.9. This is the California Penal Code, and this is when any person willfully, maliciously, or repeatedly follows or willfully, maliciously harasses another person and who makes a credible threat with intent to place that person in reasonable fear or the safety of their family. And that's once again punishable by the same penalty. So to harass, once again, means to seriously alarm, annoy, torment, or terrorize, right, through your conduct. Okay. And it can be electronic. So credible threat means verbal or written, including performed through the use of an electronic communication device. So when you're using the internet, that counts. That's enough, right? And what is this intending to do? Well, it's intending to alarm, annoy, torment, terrorize those people. And there's no legit purpose for this. And you don't need to prove under these statutes, the cyber stalking statute, or rather the stalking statute that has a cyber element, it does not require you to prove that they're actually harmed, just that you are causing them fear. And I think, once again, a reasonable person would be in fear after hearing this under California law.
Especially Hunter Avalon. He already got, well, boom boom sticked at. He already had some crazy unhinged individual try to cause bodily harm onto him and his girlfriend at the time. These things have already happened. And when we get to Mike from PA, why are you saying, hey, I'm not calling for people to do X, Y, or Z? Then why bring it up at all? Unless you are trying to get somebody to do those things. You're trying to do these weasel words and trying to do these things, but it's not protecting you, and it's only making you guys easier targets to potentially be banned, have lawsuits brought against you, what have you. And honestly, that needs to happen. I don't like to do this whole deplatforming, banning, blah, 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 but I don't know what else to do with people like Hasan, Mike from PA, or anything like that, because all you guys are doing is going out there flaunting the rules. You never get punished, and you just keep escalating the standards right now. What is there an actual punishment that can be had on? What punishment can we actually do to you outside of just saying enough's enough, no more internet for you guys?
So, you could stack up those two charges. Look at that. Just those two charges from one person. Well, it's up to 2 years there and a fine. I mean, it's pretty serious time there. Now let's look at Twitch's liability. So Twitch, at this point, we heard Hutch say he's informed Twitch. And I'm sure there's other people that have. So at this point, Twitch knows. Twitch cannot say they don't know. Dan Clancy cannot say, I was unaware of this. I didn't know this was happening. And at this point, under their own policy, which very much describes doxing as showing the real name, contact information, social security number, and home address. So you've got the three: real name, contact, home address. You've got that information out there that he's putting out there that's clearly doxing. Now, they do have another section, which I'm not showing here, which says, okay, well, not all doxing is necessarily illegal. If something is public, it's not necessarily illegal. And that is true because in certain states, it's only private information or confidential information, etc. In other states, the statutes are ambiguous, but California is pretty straightforward. California includes information even that is public. And in their policy, it doesn't matter either. Just like was read earlier, doxing of any kind is prohibited under Twitch's community guidelines, even if the perpetrators only expose information available via public record. So you see right there, it doesn't matter if the PII was public. If it's released without consent, file a report, will investigate and enforce against the doxer if appropriate. So they're choosing to say that his behavior is okay. And what I'm saying here is they've been informed, they've been alerted, they allow this. At this point, they're allowing it repeatedly. It's not just a one-time thing. I've talked about this before. This has gone again and again. It's a clear violation of the terms of service. It's openly disregarded due to bias. And at this point, it's not speculative at all.
We know that he's done this. And I've said this already. He's saying this already. This isn't the first time. Hell, this isn't the second time Hasan's gone out there and doxed somebody. This is like the third, fourth, fifth, sixth time. He does it routinely, repeatedly. And the reason he keeps doing it is because Twitch won't enforce against it when they really need to. Because all you are doing is showing the world that it's perfectly fine to act like nut jobs. It's perfectly fine to go out there and cause actual harm. Make people afraid. You are encouraging this level of behavior by not punishing Hasan, by not punishing Mike from PA, and just giving him slaps on the wrist. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. You have to actually do this at some point in time. Because if you don't, all you do is foster a really awful community, a really awful platform, and you convince other people not to engage anymore, and you hinder other creators. Think of this outside of your disdain for Hasan or anything like this. This also has impact on people like VTubers. Several VTubers love to use Twitch, but if Twitch keeps going down these paths and not punishing actual bad actors, all you're doing is encouraging bad actions to happen on your other creators. All you're doing is making all your other creators less likely to want to be there because they will get impacted by you not wanting to punish your actual bad actors. Money will dry up. Sponsors will say they don't want to be involved anymore. People will leave. Your platform will diminish, and other creators will be harmed by these actions. There's reasons to actually enforce this stuff and to stop it because of the negative impact on everybody else. But hey, Twitch doesn't care about that because Big Daddy Hasan is their #1 man.
There's a bias here. They've got Hasan as the golden boy. We get it. He obviously gets a slap on the wrist when everybody else would get a permanent ban or a very, very, very long-term ban for the exact same conduct. This opens the door to future escalation to situations like what happened to Hunter Avalon, unfortunately, right? No one wants these things to happen. Of course, if there was a situation where somebody unfortunately had an incident where there's an assault, a battery, even, like I said, an attempted murder, right? These things can all happen. If this happens, Twitch will then have blood on its hands because they have known this stuff could happen. They have known these situations can't happen, and they have ignored that. When a third party takes action based on what Hasan is doing, or based on what any other content creator on Twitch is doing, that can come back to them. That can absolutely come back to them, and it will. And it's playing with fire. It's absolutely dangerous. It's reckless. And at this point, it's willful. It's willful. They know what they're doing, and they're choosing willfully to ignore it. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.
Shout out to Legal Mindset again. He's a baller. He's a boss. Give him a like, sub to his channel. But I have other things here. I showed you the mic from PA, which just builds on it. But we also have Hutch. Now, there was a recent update in all this, and I'm sorry for that.
Like,
pausing this. Stop it. Stop it.
Like, I'm thinking
Stop
about
it.
it. Like,
what
to
the
be
hell
honest
is
with you.
talking? I don't know what the hell was going on there because I kept pausing it. I know I'm pausing it. I'm hitting pause right here, but I'll start that up here in a bit. But anyways, I have Hutch here actually saying that he's thinking of talking to a defamation lawyer. Hutch says that he has been contemplating talking to a defamation lawyer. This is something else that has come from this because Hasan won't shut the hell up. Because Hasan won't stop harassing these people. He is actually thinking about this.
You go talk to a defamation lawyer? Like, I'm thinking about it, like, to be honest with you. Because it's so egregious. But I don't know, man. I just, like, from everything I've read, like, defamation stuff is just really hard to prove, and it's a big old headache, and I just don't know. But, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I have a legitimate grievance here. Like, I'm for sure pissed off about this whole thing, and it is impacting me.
And again, I'm sorry for having to play some of this stuff because obviously my freaking YouTube video here is not my YouTube video, but my X video is wanting to act up like a psycho right now. But like this stuff, what he's saying is understandable and reasonable because of some of the impact that Hasan has had, not just via the doxing, but some of the slander, some of the misinformation. A defamation lawsuit would make sense. Now, there is obviously drawbacks to going down a potential defamation side of this because you might be sitting there wondering, how does all the doxing and all this play out? How is this all connected? It is connected. It's connected because the reason Hasan went down the whole doxing path in the first place was to slander and defame Progressive Victory, slander and defame Hutch, slander and defame a lot of these people and said that they were doing bad actions. Now, personally, I think they were doing some bad actions, but that's neither here nor there. That's not my case to actually judge here. This is Hutch's case. And if Hutch can come out with a valid argument here to proceed in a actual defamation charge, that might be the quickest way to get Hasan to stop doing these actions and to stop taking this. Now, it is a risky action to take. Not going to sit here and deny it. That is a hard thing to go down. But it is a potentiality for some of the actions that Hasan has been taking. We already know that he's a radical. We already know that he's insane. We already know that he's basically getting away scot-free from everything. And if this is the easiest path forward to potentially get him to stop and to seek some actual punishment, be it not doxing or anything else, but to actually sue him for defamation, that might be the best path forward, even with some of the actual risks that you have there. And again, I screwed this up.
Followers are spamming my feed with these defamatory claims. Like, I feel like I don't know how to establish reputational harm or any kind of like damages that I've incurred financially because of this, but if random people that don't follow me see one of my posts and then they pull up one of my posts and they look at the replies and they're seeing a bunch of people accusing me of this thing, that might make a lot of people be like, oh, I don't want to do, and I don't like this creator. It'll cost $500,000 plus. It'll have a hard path in California. It'll pry into everything in your personal life. Yeah, that's the other thing. But fuck, man, there's like, I for sure have a legitimate grievance here.
I think he does have a legitimate grievance. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. There is a path forward here, but what he just said, you know, the millions of dollars, the opening up to your personal life, all these things, it does put you into a hard predicament. And that's also why a lot of lawyers tell you not to pursue defamation, because it's not worth it half the time. It's not. But we do have Legal Mindset stepping in here, but with the most reasonable take. If it isn't Hutch, it will be someone else. In the future, under similar or more egregious circumstances. Somebody will eventually sue Hasan for some form of defamation, doxing, something. This has to happen at some point because Hasan's not stopping. He's only escalating. He's only getting it worse. He's only proving that Twitch doesn't give a damn and is willing to protect him at all costs, which is opening him up for legal liability, which is opening Twitch up for legal liability, and will end up harming everybody who uses Twitch. There's no other way around this at this point in time. There's no other punishment that makes sense other than a potential lawsuit, because obviously Twitch isn't going to be willing to do this, and something has to happen here. Because if not, it's going to take down everybody else, and nobody wants that to happen. But that's where I have it on right now. We'll see where this goes.